There's so much uncertainty happening in our world right now, in our country, in the stock market, and in the economy. But there are still things that you can be doing right now to set yourself up for success in retirement. In this video, I'm going to go over 3 things specifically to be thinking about and to do so that you feel a little bit better about your plan and then feel a little bit more certain about the steps and the next steps that you're taking. When it comes to retirement planning, one of the key parts of retirement planning is income, right? So, in volatile times or in times of uncertainty, sometimes it could feel a little bit shaky, where you might feel, do I have enough? And do I have enough to sustain over my lifetime? Now, for periods like this, it's always helpful to review, and if you don't have one yet, to create a specific retirement withdrawal plan. Now, one of the types of plans that we'll talk about when planning with clients is a very simple but a very effective withdrawal strategy called the 3 bucket strategy. And it looks something like this. This is going to be a high level view, but it will at least give you an idea. We're talking about 3 buckets here, and the clients who had this during the months of March and April of this past year of 2020, it helped them rest a little bit easier at night when a lot was happening in markets and everything. But these 3 buckets, just to sum it up, we've got bucket number 1 being conservative type investments, bucket number 2 more growth and income type investments, and then the 3rd bucket is the long-term growth bucket. Now, in bucket number 1, now depending on your expenses and things like that, having 2 to 5 years worth in this conservative bucket and setting up systematic distributions to you helps people knowing that they've got a specific amount of years of conservative assets. It helps when things aren't looking good, like in March of 2020. This growth and income bucket may even provide income and continually pump up the cash in the conservative bucket throughout the year. And then with this long-term growth bucket, that there's going to be ups and downs. There have been and there will be in the future. But knowing that you might not have to touch this money for 10 plus years makes it a little bit easier to stay invested and to not worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. And no, your retirement withdrawal plan won't be affected. So that's really the first thing to think about, is just making sure you've got that retirement withdrawal strategy set. If we do step 1 correctly, then we'll feel better about the money that's coming into the bank account, having that retirement plan set up. Now, step 2 is related to knowing then what are we going to spend that money that's coming in, what are we going to spend it on? And really the best thing to do that we've seen in uncertain times is divide your expenses into 2 categories. The first one is the must-have expenses, and then the second one is the nice-to-have expenses. And if you can do this in uncertain times, it's just very helpful to know for that second category of nice-to-haves, it's helpful to know what you can cut from the budget or from the regular monthly expenses to help get you through a period of difficulty or get you through a period of uncertainty. Maybe you won't have to cut the expenses, but just knowing that which ones are must-haves and nice-to-haves is very helpful. And just as an example, some of those nice-to-have expenses might be things like the subscription services that you have, or maybe even the type of cable, whether you're paying kind of the basic cable or the all access everything cable, and then things like eating out or ordering out food, knowing what those nice to have expenses. That's an example of some discretionary expenses. Since so much does change during uncertain times, the 3rd step to take is have a total review of your retirement plan. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like. But because all these things might change, like your income or your job or your expenses, or just the projections of when you think you might start to have to use this money that you've saved, it's important to do a total plan change, look at the account values and what they are now, and then adjust your retirement plan to make sure that it's still working and to make sure that you're on track. So here's an example of what it might look like. One of our favorite clients, Clark Kent and Lois Lane. Now, if you are, let's pretend that we had early retirement was forced upon us we can see that the plan is working. And again, this is a made up client and made up dollar values. But if you've got forced into early retirement, what does that look like for your plan? How does that change your projections? Now, would that mean maybe we would want to sell your business a little bit, sell his business a little bit earlier? How does that affect the total plan so that we can just keep things on track? So it's things like that. This is our planning software that we use. But talk with a planner or just have a review of your plan and just make sure that you're still on track. That's really the third most important step to take. Now, just to recap, the three things are: review your retirement withdrawal strategy or create one. And then the second thing is write down those must-have expenses and the nice-to-have expenses. And then third is do a complete review of your retirement plan and make sure that you're still on track. Get those adjusted numbers in there. I hope that was helpful for you. If it was, and if you like these retirement-specific videos, consider subscribing so that you don't miss the next one. And if you looked at these three different things that I had mentioned and you don't have any of them, or you want help implementing some of these things, feel free to reach out to me and have a conversation. I'll make my calendar, I make some spaces available each week to talk with people who are not clients. So if that's you, consider reaching out, and I'd love to chat with you. Thanks and have a great day.